And in Isaiah 43:19, it says that, said, I'm going to do a new thing. And I believe that God has been doing a new thing for a long time. And every time he does a new thing with us, we give it away.
Would you read Meadowlark's introduction while I practice a little bit here?
Everybody in the world knows Meadowlark Lemon. He is a basketball player. Used to play for the Harlem Globetrotters. I can show you. He's an entertainer and an actor. And now Lemon is an on-fire, born-again believer who travels around the world.
Amen.
Sharing his personal testimony. He also is involved in a new basketball team called the Stars. And you just wait till they come to your town. He's been honored with an Angel Award and a Religion and two Angel Awards and 2 Religion and Media Awards for his show, The Meadowlark Lemon Show. It's fantastic. And that show can be seen every Monday at 4:30 a.m., Saturday at 10:30 a.m., and Saturday night at 10:30 p.m. on the one and only Trinity Broadcasting Network.
I'm about to get it here. I'm about to get it.
Oh, you know what? There's a little Christian girl about this tall. She can spin 10 at one time.
What?
10
basketballs?
10 at one
on
time.
What?
On what?
On her fingers,
on
on
each
her
finger?
head, on her nose, on her toes, on her knees.
Oh, come on.
Yes. She's a strong Christian lady.
I can't even spin one-on-one, you know? I mean, how do you do that?
Is she a basketball player?
Yes, she played basketball. Now she doesn't. She just go around the world sharing testimony and spinning balls.
Well, we got to get her.
Would you please show me how it's done?
I'll try. This is new. And then it's poof.
You have to work them in a
Michael
little bit.
Jordan. I gotta bring our ball on here.
All right. Yes.
Oh.
Well.
Oh!
All right. How many ever heard of the Harlem Globetrotters? And let's see, what were some of those other teams you played, Meadowlark?
I played with the Bucketeers and the Shooting Stars, and now it's Meadowlark Lemon and the Stars, and the tradition continues.
And you're going on the road again, understand?
Going on the road again, and it looks good.
First stop?
First stop, August 27th and 8th in Seattle, Washington.
Seattle.
And from there, we're going abroad for a couple of weeks. Then we come back and we start all over again.
Fantastic. Now, I mean, is it the same fun stuff? I mean, a lot of the stunts and stuff that you used to do with the Harlem Globetrotters?
But we're bringing in some new stuff also.
I saw this guy. Now, I saw this with these eyes.
Just a couple years ago.
Jan and I attended one of the games, the Buccaneers.
Yes.
Mid-court, over his shoulder backwards, and he sunk it in the bucket. I mean, I
were there.
I saw that.
Is that amazing?
And, you know, I mean, you can say lucky shot one time, but he did it 2 or 3 times. So, how in the world, Meadowlark? I mean, I can't even conceive without seeing the basket, and you just pitch that thing over your head. How did you even practice for that? I mean, how did you even?
Well, Paul, I watch a lot of basketball on television, and each chance I get, I go out and I love the NBA, and I love to watch good college basketball, some high school. But what we did 35 years ago, they're beginning to catch up with it right now. The hook shots, you know, they call them now sky hook. Well, they called mine a rainbow hook about 30 years ago. And the passes and everything we did then, they said that we were hot dogs. But if you're not a hot dog today, you don't play. You don't make the big dollar. You know, Michael Jordan now, he's making about $7 million, I understand. And he's hot dog and he can do it.
Yes,
Magic
and
Johnson.
You made nothing, did you, Meadow?
Well,
compared to today,
we were pioneers.
Yeah.
And when you're a pioneer, you know, you started off first. But there were a lot of ball players who only made like $3,500 a year. And when Wilt Chamberlain came along and he asked for $100,000, the man that owned the team that he was playing for, he said, nobody will ever make $100,000 playing basketball.
Really?
What do they make today?
What's top?
I think Michael is, from what I understand, he's Michael Jordan. He's top player right now with about a little over $3 million a year, plus everything else that he gets.
Now,
And
can you answer something? Why is it that the basketball players have the largest salaries in all of the sports world? I mean, you guys not you, but I mean the guys that are really in the professional and in the the top teams, aren't they they're pulling down more than baseball players and football players and everybody. Why is that?
I don't know why that happened, but it's just happening. You know, for a long time, basketball players weren't making much. And then there were a time when football players weren't making much, about $5,000, $10,000 a year.
Let me tell you a theory I've got, and I don't know if this is right or not, but on a football team, you got the 7 guys, and it's pretty much 11. I'm sorry. What did I say? 7?
7.
11. Wrong sport.
I guess.
And of course, your quarterback he's a pretty key person.
He is the key guy there.
But and in baseball, you've got your 9. Am I correct?
don't know.
Isn't it 9 people on the
Yes.
team in baseball? Yeah.
Yes.
And of course, your pitcher's very important. But if I understand it, that key guy, that lead guy on the basketball team, is really it. I mean, without him, without Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, without what? Magic
Johnson,
Michael Jordan, and these key guys.
Larry Bird.
So I guess they really kind of are the nucleus of the team, and then the other guys, of course.
Yes.
Is that partly right?
Yes, but then there are some teams who have maybe 2. And if you got 3 real big stars, they win.
Yeah, right.
And that's why Los Angeles Lakers, they've been winning for such a long time.
Are we going to win this year, Meadow?
What's your
Are
prediction?
the Lakers going to do it this
Well,
year?
I thought the Lakers was going to do it in 5.
Ah.
And I see now they may have to do it in 6.
Do you think they will, though?
Yeah, that's a funny thing.
He's hedging on us. Are they going to win or
Are
not?
they going to win?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, Texas. We're from L.A. out there. Yeah.
I found out that there are certain teams that know how to win. And I believe that Los Angeles know how to win. And just maybe in the next few years, it might be Detroit. They'll learn how to win. Then Chicago will learn how to win.
Is there some deep, dark secret there that you have the answer to? I mean, that the whole world might be listening.
No, not really. I just have a feeling, and unless something really strange happened, I think the Lakers will do it again.
Yeah.
And when we all get as one and become that team working together as Christians, we're going to win, right?
You know what I want to see? I want to see the Final Four in college basketball made up of 4 Christian teams. And I'd like to see them go at it, and the one that prays the hardest and the longest, they'll win it. And I think we'll show the world something.
Speaking of those teams, Meadowlark, I understand one of the things you'd like to kind of talk about tonight is there are just a whole bunch of fine Christian young men and women in the sports world. It seems like you guys in the sports world are ahead of every other field. There's so many outspoken, committed, really bold Christians on these sports teams.
When you first met me for the first time about 6.5 years ago, there was only a very few Christian athletes that were standing up and shouting Jesus is Lord. Rosie Greer was one of them, and a couple of other people out there. Mm-hmm. And then when I started watching them and doing what they were doing, then people started watching me and what I was doing. And then now we have our show on. Yeah. There are a lot of people watching that program. There are people watching the program who are not Christians. Understand, I've talked to a lot of Jewish people who watch the program all across the country. About, about 3 or 4 months ago, I really got mad at God.
You got mad at God?
I got mad at God, and I was telling him that I was mad.
What were you mad about?
I was mad about the finances in the church. And I said, God, you said that you're the King of Kings, Lord of Lords. You said you made all the gold and you put it in a certain place. You said you got cattle on 1,000 hills. I said, now, You say that I'm one of the king's kids, and I don't know of any king's kids that's wanting for anything. I said, now, Lord, where's the money?
Where's the beef?
So we went on, and I prayed a long time, several weeks. And he put it back on me. He said, it's your fault.
Really?
And I said, you say what? And he said, it's your fault. He said, I have raised up enough Christian athletes, entertainers, actors, and businessmen. And if you did what you were supposed to do, you went out in the world and you got the money and you brought it back, there would be no lack. I said, well, I understand. I said, now I got to get out there. And I said, we got to get the money. And in Isaiah 43:19, it says that, said, I'm going to do a new thing. And I believe that God has been doing a new thing for a long time. And every time he does a new thing with us, we give it away.
Like
gospel music. I remember that the rock and roll singers and the rock and roll music, the rhythm and blues music that you hear now, it came out of gospel. You know, and we got to a point that, hey, the singers went into the world and began to sing rock and roll and rhythm and blues.
You know, Meadow, it's true. The church has been a day late and a dollar short.
Amen.
Many times. I get on everybody's case as to why the church didn't step up 35, 40 years ago when the TV licenses were being passed out by the FCC. You know,
That's the same thing.
we stood there with our hands in our pockets, you know, singing our hymns, and let the devil have virtually all of the VHF, you know, the best TV stations. Pat Robertson came along a little later, and then some of the rest of us, and we've bought up and have some TV stations now. But man, all those stations, every city should have had one main Christian station.
I believe he gave it to the Christians.
Amen.
I know in Arkansas right now, Happy Caldwell, he just built his little station there. And he has the only station, Christian station, in the state of Arkansas.
God bless him. Good.
And the cassette player. I believe that was for us too. And we gave it away. But you know, he said we're doing a new thing again. And this time I think he's doing it through the Christian athlete. And I don't have everything here, but I was jotting some names down real quickly, some people that I did some research on. And I found that there are a lot of little churches all over the country who have Christian athletes for pastors.
Pastors.
Pastors. For instance, I just came back from Houston 2 days ago, and the church that I was in down there, Maranatha Temple, the pastor there was a great basketball player. And one of his associate pastors, he played football, professional football for 5 years. Then we come in here just now, and here is Pastor John Hagee.
Pastor John Hagee.
Yeah, he played college football. He was a linebacker.
I just learned that tonight.
You see, and
I've known he had the form for it all the time. But,
okay, let me just read some of these names here. And these are names that some of the people may recognize. They were great athletes. Some played college, high school, and professional. Okay. Mike Barber, all-pro tight end, Houston Oilers, LA Rams. Rosie Greer, all-pro tackle, fearsome foursome, the Rams and Giants. Kenneth Copeland, high school and college lineman. Jerry Seville, a little league, high school, college, and could have played semi-pro, I guess. Wendell Tyler, all-pro running back, LA Rams, 49ers. Scotty McGregor, Cy Young winner, Baltimore Orioles. Dr. R.W. Shambach.
No, he didn't play football, did he?
No, basketball.
Basketball.
Semi-pro at the time.
Really?
In Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Richard Roberts, he's a scratch golfer. Lenny Moore.
I'm sorry, Richard.
What is
Lenny Moore,
golfer?
all-pro running back, Baltimore. Art Moore, football pro football player. Denny Duran, pro quarterback, All-American League. Pastor Larry Kerchak, Canadian quarterback. James Robinson, basketball. Pastor Jerry Falwell, minor league baseball. Charles Capps, I think he was a basketball football player. Terry Cummins, all pro basketball player, active right now, and he's a ordained minister. John Warehouse, pro baseball. Steve Brock will play golf anytime.
Anywhere, yes, at the drop of a hat.
I saw him out there, 110 degrees. He wanted me to go with him. I said, no way, Brother Steve. Bill Glass, all pro football player, Cleveland Browns. John Jacobs, power team. Dennis Tenorino, Mr. Universe. Laverne Tripp, basketball player. Ernie Shavers, heavyweight boxer. Pastor Eric Redmond, he was with the power team, pro football, basketball, baseball. John, well, I just announced him. And who else? George Foreman, heavyweight champion, pastor. And this goes on and on and on and on.
You athletes are taking over.
Well, we better do a job, because if we don't do the job, he'll find somebody else to do it for us.
Yeah.
He said he'd make the rocks cry out. I don't want the rocks talking. You know,
Doing your job.
No rock's going to take my
I don't
place,
want no rocks taking my job.
Amen, amen.
So we
Tell
gonna-
that one cute little story about when you were flying over, who was witnessing on the plane and witnessed to you.
Oh, well,
Tell
I got on the plane here in Dallas, and I was going to Los Angeles, and I saw this big guy standing up in the door, and he was just talking. He had his wife and his baby with him, and he looked over at me, and I looked over at him. I waved, and he waved, and I didn't have anyone sitting next to me, so he got up out of the seat next to from his wife, and came over, and he started witnessing to me. Hulk Hogan.
About Jesus.
Hulk Hogan.
He's a
Yeah,
Christian.
and he started witnessing to me, and I said, no, I'm one of you guys.
Oh, it's neat.
But this is what he did. There was another guy over on the other side, and he said, they just told me that this guy's an atheist. I'm going over and sat by, and he went over and sat by the guy, and he started looking straight ahead.
Did he get him?
Yes, he talked to him.
Of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
Praise God.
You wouldn't talk to Hulk Hogan?
Hulk Hogan can talk to anyone
That's
he
right.
wants to,
He
yes.
can throw you through the side of the plane.
Oh, great. Hey, man, we're really excited about this, and
Yeah.
we're going to be praying with you and agreeing with you.